back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another vlog with your girl Rachel Silas. On today's vlog, I'll be talking about the plight of the Arewa woman and my advice to the Arewa community. If you are a new subscriber, thank you for stopping by. I would love to see more of you on my channel. Thank you. And to my old subscribers, your support has always kept me going on this channel. Thank you so much. Please watch till the end. So today's vlog is based on posts I've been seeing on northern blogs on Instagram and things happening around me, basically because I am from the north and I grew up in the north. So some things are really alarming, especially the stories that come into those northern blogs. It's mostly about the women and the things they really go through, especially the divorced woman in Arewa. In my perspective, I feel like Arewa parents can actually do better when it comes to settling marital issues. For instance, when a woman comes back home to complain about one thing or the other, or when she receives a divorce, the next thing, course of action you see a parent doing is trying to push her to go back to her house, the husband's house, trying to tell her to be patient, to endure. That's how marriage is. Please be patient, endure. That's how marriage is. Without actually sitting down to address the matter, to tackle it from the roots. And the things keep occurring and reoccurring, which doesn't even help the matter at all. Like some of our Arewa parents do don't really help matters at all. So I feel like Arewa parents can do better. If you are an Arewa person, either you are a parent or you are married and yet to become a parent, you are definitely a future parent. And if you are already a parent, this message goes to you. Whether your child is still small, you can put effort to make sure that your child grows well. There are a lot of problems that the Arewa woman face, especially the divorced Arewa woman, ranging from stigmatization. She's always been blamed for being divorced, blamed for being single, and other things that they are being blamed for and stigmatized for, which is really uncalled for, because somebody's destiny doesn't lie on your hands. You are not God. Everybody has a predestined destiny that God has ordained for them. So things will work out according to God's timing for them, not according to your timing for them. So stop the stigmatization to Arewa single ladies and stop the stigmatization to the divorced woman of Arewa. Some of the parents actually stigmatize their daughters. I feel that as a woman, you know a woman's plight. Sometimes it is not the lady's fault not to be married. There might be an underlying problem. You didn't find out. All you do is push her, stigmatize her, disturb her emotionally, physically. You blackmail her. I've seen a post of a lady saying that her mom, basically everything she does, her mom gets upset over. She always mocks her to go get married. She doesn't even provide for her. She doesn't even help her financially. She always tries to help herself. It's depressing. It's really depressing, and this should stop. If you know you do not want to carry responsibility, then don't be a parent, because children are not a liability to you. They are blessings from God, because there are people that are really begging God for children over years upon years. They are crying to God for children. But for God to trust you enough to give you a child, you should really repay God back by taking care of that child, because when you die tomorrow or you die today, you are going to answer questions concerning that child's upbringing. So we can do better as Arewa community in helping to stop stigmatization, in helping to put more attention to the growth and development of the Arewa girl child and Arewa ladies as a whole. Another problem that the Arewa divorced woman faces is sexual advances. Some men think that the Arewa divorced woman is a second-class citizen in the community because she was once married She is not a second class citizen. I feel like she is a woman with experience. Whatever the case may be, she is a woman with experience. Whether she did something wrong to have been divorced or not, she's a woman with experience. So men, stop going to them to fulfill your sexual dirty desires. That's really, really bad. Stop degrading the divorced woman. Stop degrading them. Problem that the divorced Arewa woman faces is dealing with deadbeat baby daddies. Some baby daddies do not support their ex-wives. They do not support, for one reason or the other. She is left with the responsibility of the children, and she doesn't get much support from her own family like that. She is faced with depression and temptation to do horrible things just to make sure her children are okay. So I feel like, in as much as we are doing our best to see that the orphans, widows, and the widowers are being helped, the divorced woman in Arewa needs to be helped too. In as much as we help other people in need, she should also be a point of concern to the community to help. So if you have a divorced woman around your area, you should help in kind and in words. Please stop the stigmatization. I heard someone once said something about gossip. They said that thing you are gossiping someone about, will soon catch up with you one day, and you will be shocked that that thing you were gossiping about is really happening in your life. So let's stop the stigmatization. And my advice to Arewa parents is, please put effort to the growth and development of your girl child, because you don't even know whom that girl might be tomorrow. She might be the next first lady. She might be a miracle and a turning point to you. Forget your level, your capacity for now. Forget it. God might use that child. God can use anyone. God can even use an animal to save you. I'm serious. So please, Arewa parents, let's try our best to put in more effort to bring up the girl child properly, bring her up properly. In as much as we are putting efforts to bring up the boys to make sure they are successful, let's also try our best to make sure that she's successful and sound also. And I highly recommend girl child empowerment, because the world is changing. The world is really changing. And the problem that these divorced women are facing, some of them do not have anything to do. They don't even have any skill. They are depressed. They are even praying to any man to come. They will just marry, let them just have a roof over their head to get away from a lot of problems and a lot of mockery they are facing. They just want to marry anyone that comes and go. So to prevent this unforeseen circumstances like that, let's empower our girl child, the Arewa girl child. Let's stop ignoring the Arewa girl child. Let's try and empower them. Even if you don't want them to go to school, you can teach them at home. You can help them learn a skill, because these days people do businesses online. They don't have to go outside, go to shops and everything. They can do businesses online these days. So please, let's empower the girl child. Another advice for the Arewa parents is, and the Arewa community is, it's not always her fault. It's not always her fault to be divorced, for being divorced. There are lots of problems that people are facing these days, ranging from emotional problems, from psychological problems, from depression, and the economy as well. Things are not easy everywhere in this country. So someone could just come up, could just be depressed, could just transfer aggression, and before you know, he's serving his wife divorce. Once she just does any small thing to him, he's serving divorce to her. Some people, it's from selfish interest that they're serving this divorce. So it is not always her fault for being divorced. It could be that it is their fault, both of them. It's not only your child's fault for being divorced. So stop the stigmatization and help with wisdom to solve these problems. Make sure you find the root of this problem and use wisdom to solve it accordingly. If it is a case of abuse, please, parents, stop pushing your children back to abuse, because some ladies will run back home for safety in your arms. You will still push them back to the problem, because you feel like them staying at home would bring shame and they will be a liability to you. we can really do better about this whole situation. Before she was anybody's wife, she was your child. She's still your child. She's your daughter, she's your relative before she became somebody else's wife. So if she coming back home for refuge, it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing at all. And my advice to the Arewa single ladies is lower your expectations. Sometimes we have too much of expectations that is higher than the highest mountain in the world. I'm not saying you should lower your standards, no, but lower your expectations. Make sure you write realistic, you pen down realistic expectations, because there are some expectations that some ladies have that when if table are being turned, they cannot really fulfill those expectations. They cannot even go to 1/3 of those expectations, but you expect another human being that is capable of making mistakes to fulfill all those expectations. If not, you won't accept that person. It's very, very uncalled for, because we tend to like this fairy tale kind of marriage relationship kind of thing. See, forget it. Love is give and take. Marriage is give and take. You cannot always be on the receiving end. Always, you have to sacrifice, you have to adjust. If you think you will just go and sit down here, you will receive the shock of your life. If you think you just go and receive love and enjoy and live your life without giving it back, you will receive the shock of your life. So love is always give and take. Iowa ladies, let's wake up from this Indian film kind of love story. Let's wake up from it. Set realistic expectations and commit those expectations to the hands of God. Keep in mind that you would learn to have to adjust from things you don't like. You have to adjust to start doing those things. That's marriage for you, and it's vice versa. Or you stop those things, you adjust from those things you like to do to those things you don't like to do. That's how it is for marriage. So as a single lady, don't always think that love is always rosy, marriage is always a bed of roses like that. No, prepare your mind to adjust. As like I said, love is give and take. Make sure you are not always on the receiving side. Always make sure you are also giving. I'm not saying you should give your bodies, no. I'm not saying you should do anything that is against your faith, no. But create worth, create value. Make sure you are always giving something good, something valuable, something tangible. Very good things. It might be support, intellect, a lot of things, wisdom, ideas. You could support in one way or the other. There are many ways you could support. You could also give back. You could also show back this love you are receiving. It's not always about give me always. Okay? And another advice I have for us, the single ladies in Arewa, is always watch out for yourself. Because I see a lot of posts about ladies, a guy is showing you signs and symptoms that he's done with this relationship, he doesn't like you, but you still be pushing your head back to that relationship, and you come to northern blocks and be like, Malama, please hide my ID. He did this, he did that, he did this. I tried calling him, he's not picking. If you are in a place that you are constantly being repelled and being rejected, it is high time you move on, because clinginess doesn't solve anything. By your reason of even moving on could even make somebody come back to realization that, oh, they've lost you, and if they really want you, they'll go after you. But mind you, there are people that they don't want you and they don't want you to leave. So be wise enough to know which is which. So wherever you are not appreciated, you are not wanted as an Arewa lady, please use wisdom and give yourself sense to be able to move on quickly, so that you don't waste your time and you don't lose your integrity in the process. Because when one door closes, another better one opens. So probably another bigger door is waiting for you. I know it's not easy, But the problem we are facing is the problem that's making things hard for us is that we don't know how to handle rejection. We don't know how to accept rejection and use it to our own advantage. That's why we are facing a lot of these problems. Some people feel like they will die if they are not together with this man. I understand. So let's learn to watch out for ourselves. Don't be taken advantage of in the name of love. Advice I have for us is, when you find a good man, please do not take advantage of him, because some Arewa ladies are very unromantic in a way that they exhaust somebody's patience, they exhaust somebody's capacity to love them. They try to see the end point. When somebody is being good to you, when you find a good person, a very good person, that you ask yourself if this is real, please don't take advantage of this person. Reciprocate this love you are receiving and don't take advantage. Another advice I have for us is, please do not destroy another person's home just because you want to have a man to yourself. Please don't do that. Even if you have to marry someone that has a wife, to our Muslim brothers and sisters, even if you want to marry somebody that has a wife already, please, there are many dignified ways to do that. You don't have to wreck somebody's home to get married. My advice to the divorced Arewa woman is, always learn from your mistakes. If there was a problem in your last marriage that you were highly involved in, please learn from your mistakes and take decisions that are highly to your best interest, not something out of pressure, or not something you want to take to get out of a problem, so that you don't go from frying pan to fire. My advice to the Arewa men too is, please eat what your family eats, or let your family eat what you eat, especially to the married ones, because I observed that some men actually eat good food outside, especially to the Malam Bahaushe. The man eats very good food outside, and then the woman is there struggling with 250 naira to make food without any food ingredients at home. She has to manage to cook with a little amount of money. And this kind of the food, when he comes back home and sees the food, he will not even want to eat the food, but he will give them to eat. He will provide just a little for them to eat, and go outside and buy expensive and very delicious food and healthy food to eat. It is very, very, very wrong. To be frank, it is wrong. To the Arewa men, please stop the stigmatization, because some of you are very, very good in stigmatizing ladies that are unmarried or divorced women. Please stop the stigmatization. If you are one of them, stop it, because somebody's destiny is not in your hands, it is in the hands of God. Stop pressurizing them and stop timing them, because God has the time in his hands for everyone. God has a written destiny for everyone. It is not in your hands. Stop the stigmatization. So the Arewa men, your family is a reflection of you. It is your report card. Whatever you do with it, it will show to other people how much of an effort you are putting in that household to develop that household. So please put in your best to make sure that your children, you yourself and your wife have a very, very wonderful vicinity to grow in love in. Okay, another advice I have for the men is, especially the married men, please stop feeding outsiders and leaving your family hungry. Do not feed outsiders while your family are wallowing in hunger, because some men are actually very, very good in that. They want to prove a point outside while their family is busy hungry at home. In fact, instead of blessings, you might even get curses. Some of you spend money on side chicks or women you are about to marry. You leave your family hungry. You don't clothe them, you don't feed them properly, but you go outside and spend tons of money on other people. There is no blessing in that at all. Instead, you will receive curses. Please, let's watch out for all these things. Arewa men, let's watch out for this. The advice I have for the Arewa men is, if you want to get married, please review your intentions before getting married. If your intentions are sinful, please avoid it. If you know you cannot live by the standard, you cannot actually live by the rules given for adding a wife, please just don't go there, so that you don't invoke problem upon yourself. Because there's this situation I once experienced with my cousin sister Rukaya, whom almost got married to somebody, but I think she realized that the man is highly lustful. He's very, very lustful, and she just didn't go on with the marriage. And I thank God for my uncle, because he was really full of wisdom. He smells him from afar. Even before Rukaya saw those red signs, she saw the red signs way after the first introduction. And that didn't even really say much about the guy. It was when the breakup happened before my uncle told them that from the beginning he didn't really like the guy. So this guy, I met him years later, and he was like, I have 3 wives now. I have 3 wives now. Just within a very, very short period of time, you already have 3 wives and lots of kids. Let's say it was 5 years later, and he already had 3 wives and lots of kids. So, and he was asking me out, and was saying that if I allow him, he wants to marry me to become his 4th wife. And I said, okay, because he mentioned something about Rukaya. He still wants Rukaya back. She was still in her husband's house. My sister gave him serious warning to stay away from her, and he still insisted that he wants to marry her. So I asked him, I said, what if you marry me and Rukaya is now back, is now totally single? For instance, let's just say he said he would divorce one of his wives and then marry Rukaya. I was shocked to my bones. I asked this question not because I like the man. I don't at all. I do not like this person at all. This person, to be disgusting. If I say disgusting, it's very, very harsh words to do people. That's basically how I feel about this person. He disgusts me. So this person was like, he would divorce one of his wives, innocent wives that gave birth to babies for you. So please, every woman, if your intention for adding a wife is not pure, is not good, is sinful, is a sinful one, please do not go ahead with the plans to add a wife. I also like to admonish us all, the Arewa community, to please help the divorced woman as much as we are helping the widows, the widowers, the less privileged. Let's also help the divorced woman in Arewa, either in words or in kind, in any good way you can. Please help them, because it is not easy at all. And to the Arewa men that have ex-wife with the children, living with the ex-wife, please try as much as possible to provide for these children, to provide for them. Domin a cire haki. You understand? The Hausa people understand what I'm saying. Remove your haki as a parent, because God will ask you tomorrow for not taking care of that child at the time they really need. It's not easy going to stay in somebody's house that is not your father's house. It is not. Even if it is the grandparents' house, it's not easy, because in cases of divorce, it's not always easy on the children to live elsewhere apart from their parents' house.